So I'm Lee Ellett. I'm with Scripps Institution of Oceanography at UC San Diego, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about the academic research fleet and the Cyberinfrastructure Working Group. First, I thank our primary sponsors, National Science Foundation and the Office of Naval Research, and then also the University and National Oceanographic Laboratory System, our UNOLS office, for their support as well. A little bit about the academic research fleet, looking at 14 vessel operating institutions. It's a distributed large facility with 18 research vessels. These research vessels are multi-purpose. They range in size from less than 100 feet to almost 300 feet, and they conduct all types of science, physical oceanography to geophysics. And then the coordinating organization is the UNOLS. So the UNOLS office was created largely for efficient scheduling and access to these vessels. Slide. So why did we establish a Cyberinfrastructure Working Group? Well, modern research vessels have been delivered with more operational technology and greater reliance on cyber infrastructure. And so this operational technology that's involved with the safety of the vessel was challenging our technical support model. We also have had cybersecurity requirements that have been coming into effect. And then as we adapt to these, that's been increasing the complexity of the operational environments on the vessel. This group initially was established after we had a trusted CI engagement. And so we started unpacking that and looking at the recommendations and how we could provide guidance to the program on priorities and efficient approaches for our federal sponsors. What are some of the unique challenges that we face? So I talked a little bit about the operational technology, where we're dealing with engine control systems that are networked, winch systems, integrated bridge systems. And so these, being that they affect the safety of the vessel and being regulated. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. We also have very limited bandwidth, very limited throughput to the vessels. We're using geostationary satellite communications for internet access, and that's we're limited in what we can purchase for that. The sponsors have been very helpful, and we've been increasing that as much as we can. LEO shows low Earth orbit, shows great promise, but it's not there yet. So we're still very limited in bandwidth. And some of the working group participants, just to show that some participants in this meeting, John Haverlack, Ken Feldman are going to be at this meeting. And then we had kind of a broad spectrum of participants from across the fleet. We wanted various institutions, ships of various sizes, so that we could capture needs of many operators in the facility. Oops. A little bit about the regulatory environment so a lot of the focus has been on cybersecurity. We hope to get to some of the cyber infrastructure needs, but cybersecurity has been a priority. We have the International Maritime Organization, and those came into effect in last year. So with the cyber risk management plan for inspected vessels, we also have requirements. Some of the vessels are owned by the US Navy. So the Department of Defense regulatory environment comes into play, DFARS and CMMC. The US Coast Guard right now has been more in agreement with the IMO, but they are the strategic cyber outlook and publish cyber threats. And then we also want to be in line with the expectations of the National Science Foundation with the cybersecurity and cyber infrastructure plan requirements in the Major Facilities Guide. So these are just all things that have been guiding our work. And then I won't go reading all of this, but talk a little bit about the University of Hawaii, University of Washington, and Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution supported a pilot program for the cybersecurity needs in last year. And that was a vendor that went through and to all the ships in the fleet that needed a CRMP. And we did, through that process, we found out that we did not have much in the way of CUI to deal with. And so we've decided on CMMC level 1 as a baseline moving forward. And NSF has been very supportive of the continued need of a fleet-wide cybersecurity program. So we've been trying to decide what do we do as a fleet and what do we do at the individual institutions. And then finally, for 2022, we're working with ResearchSoc on cybersecurity support. And so this year one of that. So that's what we're working on right now is our onboarding with ResearchSoc and that support. And so I'm sure many of the audience are familiar with ResearchSoc, so I'm not going to go into that. But I thank you for the time and happy to answer any questions you might have.